Welcome to my 2024 NFL predictions. It's just going to be raw footage talking and pictures of the papers I wrote the stuff on, so no crazy edits or anything, but these are the predictions, and we'll see how I do. In the AFC North, last is the Browns because they still have Watson. I don't believe in him, even though the rest of their team's good, but it's looking kind of like how the Jets were last year with awful quarterback play. Third is the Steelers. They upgraded their quarterbacks, and Justin Fields and Russell Wilson are a big improvement over Kenny Pickett, and they also added Patrick Queen. Second and first was really tough. They're both going to the playoffs. Second's the Bengals. Burrow's back. Chase is holding out. Is he still? I don't know. And then first is the Ravens. It wasn't that. They're not going to be as good as some people think they're going to be. They're still going to be a good team, though, but Derrick Henry's out of his prime, and Lamar Jackson, can he do it all by himself? Because his receivers are mediocre. They lost some pieces on defense, but they're still going to be a good team. In the AFC South, last is obviously the Titans. They did improve around the team, but I have no faith in Will Levis whatsoever. Third is the Colts. Anthony Richardson's back, but he had a lower completion percentage in college than Zach Wilson in the NFL. Second, making a wild card is the Jaguars. They can't be how they were to end last year, and they also added some weapons for Trevor Lawrence. And then first is the Texans. They were really good last year. C.J. Stroud was in the MVP conversation at the time, and they got even better this year. In the AFC West, last is the Broncos, but it's really close between them and the Chargers. But I do believe in Bo Nix, but he doesn't have that much around him. But I do think Bo Nix will be good. Third is the Chargers. I'm not a believer in the Chargers at all. They're just kind of meh. And then they got injury-prone running backs that can run the ball a lot and not utilize Justin Herbert to his full potential. Second is the Raiders. I have a lot of faith in this team. Gardner Minshew almost took them to the playoffs last year, or almost took the Colts there, and then now he has an arguably better Raiders team than he did there, and I have a lot of faith in Antonio Pierce. And then first is the Chiefs, obviously. They won the Super Bowl the past 2 years. They got even better. How could they not win this? AFC East, last is the Patriots. Their team's awful, and I'm not a Drake May fan, at least where he is in New England. Third is the Bills. They lost so much, and I don't think Josh Allen can do it by himself. Stephon Diggs is what kind of catapulted him into being good. Second is the Dolphins. I mean, their offense is good. Their O-line is questionable, and their defense, it wasn't that good last year, and it got worse, I think. But number one is the Jets. I think they're the most well-rounded team in the entire NFL. When you look at that roster, they're the most talented. They're winning this division easily. In the NFC North, last is the Vikings. They had a pretty miserable offseason with a lot of injuries killing their team, and just not the greatest. And Sam Darnold's just really bad. Third is the Bears. I mean, this team's gonna be really close to the playoffs. They're gonna be good this year. I don't know how much I can trust Matt Eberflus, but their whole team is just really good. Second is the Packers. They almost beat the 49ers in the playoffs and almost went to the championship game. This team is younger and has another year of experience. They're going to be really good. But first is the Lions. That team is just loaded everywhere and a couple mistakes away from going to the Super Bowl last year. Only thing with them is they don't have a number 2 receiver. And then in the NFC South, fourth is the Panthers. They made some questionable moves, but they also made some okay ones. I don't feel like they got that much better. And then third is the Saints. Dennis Allen's an awful coach. Derek Carr just checks it down a lot, and Alvin Kamara isn't the same. Second is the Bucks. I mean, they're kind of still the same as last year, but they do have a harder schedule and stuff. They're going to be close to maybe around 500, I think. And then first is the Falcons. Looking at that team, and you think, why are they not going to be good? They have They now have a QB in Kirk Cousins, and although drafting Michael Penix was odd, they did get Matthew Judon. This team is pretty good. NFC East, last is the Giants. They have a terrible team. I don't have faith in them at all. They're a Carson Beck contender. Third is the Commanders. I do have a lot of faith in Jaden Daniels, but I don't know how that team around him can really support him to actually make the playoffs year one. Second place is the Cowboys. I mean, yeah, Jerry Jones all in, all that stuff. That didn't really work out. Although they did extend CeeDee Lamb, and they didn't really get worse, did they? And then first is the Eagles. Looking at that team, they're loaded. I don't know how they collapsed last year, but that was pretty bad. But they're going to be back this year and win the division. And the NFC West, third and fourth was really hard. But so fourth is the Seahawks, third is the Cardinals. And, I mean, with how good Kyler Murray was when he came back, and now he's got Marvin Harrison to throw to, it just gave the slight edge to Arizona. Second is the Rams. Even though they lost Aaron Donald, Jared Verse is still really good. And he also can be working with his college teammate Braden Fisk. But first is the 49ers. First seed in the NFC, I think. They just got a really good roster. And Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk are back. But I do think they're losing week one to the Jets. Alright, now the AFC playoffs. Raiders, Jets. The Jets are winning that. They lost to them last year, but they're so much better now. Although the Raiders are good, they're not going to be able to keep up with this team now. And then Jaguars, Chiefs. It's going to be the Chiefs. They're just so loaded. And, I mean, yeah, Jaguars, they're not on the level of the Chiefs. And they lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs before. Yeah, I don't think they're going to win. Bengals, Ravens. This one's really tough. They were like neck and neck for the division. But at this point, usually the Ravens slow down at the end of the year and the Bengals speed up at the end of the year. So slight edge to the Bengals. Bengals, Texans. Although the Bengals are good, I don't think they can outbeat the Texans. So Texans, C.J. Stroud going against the Bengals defense. Even though they have ball hawk Geno Stone back there. Then the Texans receivers are still good enough against that Bengals secondary that's just mid. Chiefs and Jets, even though the Chiefs are really good, I do think the Jets have a better team overall. And I mean, the Jets almost beat the Chiefs last year with Zach Wilson. Both teams improved, but the Jets improved more. AFC Championship, Jets, Texans. The Jets have more veteran experience. Aaron Rodgers is not washed. He wasn't as good as his normal powers 2 years ago, and he missed all last year. But he's going to be back with a lot of momentum. Jets win this. In the NFC playoffs, Cowboys, Eagles. It's going to be the Eagles. Cowboys always get crushed in the playoffs. Good in the regular season, not going to be as good as they normally are, or maybe the same old Cowboys are losing. Rams, Lions. It's a rematch of last year. And it was really close. But the Rams did improve more than the Lions did, so I'm going to give it to the Rams. Packers, Falcons. This one I think is going to be maybe kind of close. Packers win only by 1 touchdown. And yeah, Jordan Love, he's good. Got a good team around him. So does Kirk Cousins. But in the end, it's going to be Kirk Cousins is once again going to choke in prime time, and the Packers win. Packers, Eagles, going to be the Packers. Because how much can we trust Nick Sirianni coaching the Eagles after last year? I do think they can make it this far, but I don't think they're going to make it farther, even with that loaded team around them. Rams, 49ers. It's going to be the 49ers. They're still just really good. Possibly the best team in the NFL. Actually, probably, I mean, you can probably see it there. I don't have them winning in the NFC Championship game, so technically not best team in the NFL. But yeah, Packers win it against the 49ers. This one's going to be a close game, but another year of experience for Jordan Love's going to go a long way and propel the Packers to beat them this time. And the Packers go to the Super Bowl. Next is awards. Coach of the Year, Antonio Pierce. I have a lot of faith in him. I think he's a really good coach. And, I mean, I know there's some people thinking that he's going to be the first one fired and stuff, but No, he's gonna be good. That Raiders team's gonna shock a lot of people. Comeback player of the year, Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers. As long as the Jets make the playoffs, he's winning that award. And I do think they're making the playoffs. And as you saw, had them making the Super Bowl. Alright. Offensive player of the year, CeeDee Lamb. Because, Dak's a good quarterback. CeeDee Lamb's a good receiver. And there's not that much else to throw to. So, yeah, CeeDee Lamb can win this. Defensive player of the year, I have Max Crosby. He's really going to put on a show how good he is this year. He's got Malcolm Kuntz there. And then Tyree Wilson's also there. There's too much for offensive lines to handle. Crosby's going to get more sacks and he's winning it. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's going to mesh well with Kyler Murray with how good he was last year, and that Marvin Harrison Jr. is a generational receiver prospect. So I'm going to take him over the quarterbacks. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Laiatu Latu. He was my top edge rusher in this draft. And he went to the Colts and is going to be taking over for Samson Ebukam. He's going to win it. And now MVP, CJ Stroud. There was a point last year where people were saying that he was going to win it. And then he folded a little near the end of the year. This year his team's better. He's got another year of experience. He's winning it. And then now it's the Super Bowl. Jets, Packers. I think the Jets are going to win. My score prediction, 31-14. The Packers are still a young team. Jets have a lot of experience, and I think that's an event ultimately going to give them the edge in this game. So, yeah, look for the Jets to be your Super Bowl 59 champions. MVP, I actually forgot to write that down. But we'll give this one to Garrett Wilson. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to have protection from that O-line enough. And then Garrett Wilson's just going to cook on that defense. Even though they have Jair Alexander, I still think that they can. He's still going to win it. He did a lot with awful quarterback play last year. He's going to be really good this year. Jets, your Super Bowl 59 champions. Let's get the season on.